Please rise while the colors are posted. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our opening prayer.
Almighty God, you are the source of our life, strength, and purpose. In your presence alone we find help, hope, and life. Guide us during the hour of fellowship and reflection to be rounded with a healing reminder of your love to all whose lives we touch this day. For it is your glory we gather and offer our prayers. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning. I'm Peter K. Goebel, the Director of the Rensselaer County Veterans Service Agency. We have gathered here this morning to honor a deceased Rensselaer County veteran for the month of May, and that veteran is Clinton J. Winnie. We are honored to have with us this morning his family members, his son Michael Winnie, daughter-in-law Margaret Winnie, sister Catherine Winnie, brother William Winnie, niece Catherine Primero, niece Sharon Roberts, niece Darlene George, nephew-in-law John George, nephew and friend Jimmy Bond, and friend Dale Morgan. Thank you for being here. Also with us to honor our Veteran of the Month are representing Congressman Paul Tonko, Colleen Williams, former Congressman Michael McNulty, representing New York State Senator Daphne Jordan Haley Northrup, New York State Assemblyman Jake Ashby, Rensselaer County Executive Steve McLaughlin, Rensselaer County Legislative Vice Chair Kelly Huffman, Rensselaer County Legislative Majority Leader and Chairman of the Legislative Veterans Committee Ken Harrington, and representing the Waterfleet Arsenal Commander Colonel Milton Kelly is Mr. Matt Day. We have County Legislators Scott Bendett, Dan Casal, Tom Grant, and Robert Loveridge. As we are all well aware, Memorial Day and Veterans Day are special days to remember all of our veterans. This program was created to help us honor our veterans all year round. To us here in Rensselaer County, every day is Veterans Day. The Rensselaer County Honor a Deceased Veteran Program represents veterans organizations throughout the entire county. This includes members of the American Legion, Disabled American Veterans, Veterans of Lansingburg, Military Order of the Purple Heart, Marine Corps League, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Korean War Veterans, Tri-County Council of Vietnam-era Veterans, Heroes at Home, Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Vietnam Veterans of America, AMVETS, and the Rensselaer County Veterans Service Agency. I will now ask Kelly Huffman, Rensselaer County Legislative Vice Chair, and the assembled county legislators to come forward to tell us about our honored veteran for the month of May, Clinton J. Winnie.
I'm Kelly Hoffman, and I am Vice Chair of the Rensselaer County Legislature. and I'm glad that my colleagues are actually here behind me today. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our monthly Honor a Deceased Veteran ceremony. As you know, 2 weeks from today, we will be observing Memorial Day. It is a day to remember those who have died while serving in the United States military. Recognizing the service of our veterans is something we do all year round in Rensselaer County, and I appreciate all of you for joining us at this solemn ceremony month after month. This month we are celebrating the life and service of Clinton John Winnie. Clinton was born on July 3rd, 1929 in Albany, New York, to Clinton and Catherine Winnie. Clinton was the brother of Catherine First, William Winnie, and the late Shirley and Mary Lou Winnie. Clinton grew up in Albany and graduated from the Albany Public School System. Clinton married Regina Fairfield on February 4th, 1951, and 5 days later he enlisted in the United States Army in Albany. Private Winnie was assigned to Company B, 43rd Engineer Construction Battalion. The United States Army engineers played a key role during World War I and World War II, as well as the Korean War. The engineers built, destroyed, and built again as the circumstances of the battle in Korea had changed. The soldiers would quickly and skillfully build roads and bridges and destroy them shortly thereafter in order to keep the enemy at bay. The rough terrain of the Korean Peninsula created a high demand for their skills, and the engineers could be found forming and providing a wide variety of construction missions during the entirety of the conflict. On January 24th, 1953, almost 6 months before the end of the war, Private First Class Winnie was honorably discharged from the United States Army at Camp Kilmer, New Jersey. For his honorable service to his country, Private First Class Winnie was awarded the Korean Service Medal with 2 Bronze Service Stars, the United Nations Service Medal, and the Meritorious Unit Citation. After his honorable discharge from the Army, Clinton returned to civilian life with his wife Regina and settled in Rensselaer, where they raised their son Michael. Several years later, on September 17, 1955, Clinton married Ann Bond. Together they had 3 sons, Stephen, Richard, and Ronald. Clinton worked as a truck driver for Hudson Valley Paper Company and later was an exterminator for Linendahl Pest Control for 17 years. Clinton retired in 1994 and spent time at the Melvin Rhodes American Legion, post 1231. Clinton was a big fan of the country music band Alabama, my fave, and loved watching his favorite baseball team, the New York Mets. Where's Tom Grant?
Good choice.
Big Mets fan here. You are too. Sadly, on August 11th, 1997, Clinton passed away, leaving behind his beloved wife, Ann, his sons Michael, Stephen, Richard, and Ronald, his grandchildren Walter, Michelle, Stephanie, Shelley, Shannon, Stephen, Sean, Shane, and Sawyer. Clinton was predeceased by his parents, his sisters, and his granddaughter Tanya. Clinton is buried at the Capital City Cemetery in East Greenbush. On behalf of the entire Rensselaer County Legislature, I'd like to thank Clinton's family for giving us the honor of being able to recognize his life and his service today. I know that everyone here today knows the significance of Memorial Day, but it is our duty to encourage everyone to pay their respects and honor all of our veterans that have made the ultimate sacrifice in order to protect our freedoms. While parades and barbecues are fine, we must never lose sight of the true meaning of Memorial Day. Thank you all for being here this morning, and thank you for allowing us to honor his memory. Thank you.
Tom, you want to come down? get it to play. How's that?
I give you credit for trying.
I try. Oh, well. Yeah, you got that, you can hang on it. Yeah, I'm, as you know, Kenny Harrington. I'm chairman of the Veterans Committee here. I want to thank all those veterans who come every month to make this help make this a success, and thank all those folks who are government leadership here that takes time to come here also. And I'd like to say Congressman McNulty up there in the corner, he's there every week, every month so far. Thank you very much. This is very important to us to honor Clinton for his service. You know, you don't realize how great it feels to be in the military and get up in the morning, put that uniform on, unless you've done it. It really makes you feel great. It makes you feel good, and it knows that you're fighting to keep the rest of this country free. I think some of our younger generation take freedom for granted because there is no more draft. People don't have to serve anymore unless they want to. So, but this is a good reminder each month to those who have never served, how important it is to have people that will serve. And I want to thank Clinton and his family for taking time to serve, and you see him go and leave, and you wonder if he's coming back, right? We never know where we're going to go. If you volunteer or if you become a service member, you don't know what you're going to, most of the time Uncle Sam decides where he's going to send you and what you're going to do. So whether you're on the front line or behind the lines, Uncle Sam will make that decision probably in the first place. So Tom, do you want to say a couple of words? I wanted to ask Tom to come down. Tom had my job for 20 years. He's retired from the legislature now, and he's on the committee upstairs with those guys that are work on this program with Lonnie and Peter to make this thing a success. Tom, you want to say a couple words?
Yep. I just want to mention the importance of the engineers to the combat troops in the Army. Without the engineers, a lot of movement would not have taken place. And I was an armor, and I know that they were a great support for them. They were able to put in temporary bridges and everything else for the armor vehicles to pass over. So I do thank Clinton for his work there. And I see he got out in 1953 at the end of the Korean War. That's when I got into the National Guard, was at the end of beginning of 1953. I just caught the end of the Korean War. I don't know if you notice coming in the room out there, there's a wall that's got all the plaques on it. Well, Clinton will be on the plaque for all the veterans that are honored this year, so that plaque will be up there next January or February. So again, I'd like to thank you for Clinton's service. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I also get the honor of presenting this proclamation honoring Clinton John Winnie, honoring him on behalf from this proclamation is from the county legislature, honoring John Clinton's service to us and his country. Thank you very much for coming. Okay.
Thank you.
I will, yeah, I hope so. Thanks very much. Yeah, this is me, but I wasn't out there. All right. I did. Call him Brett. You good? And Junior?
I will now ask Colleen Williams, representing.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be with you here this morning. First and foremost, thank you, Peter and Lonnie, for all you do for our veterans here in Rensselaer County. We're immensely appreciative of the work that you do each and every day, so thank you for that. To Congressman McNulty, thank you for leading the way with this program and allowing Congressman Tonko to continue such a wonderful tradition in conjunction with Rensselaer County. And of course, to our veterans assembled here today, thank you for your service and for being that monthly reminder for us as we gather here that freedom certainly isn't free. Thank you for your sacrifices that have gone before those of us here today. And of course to the family, thank you for being here. As it was mentioned previously, Memorial Day is once a year, but Rensselaer County does a fantastic job of honoring its veterans once a month. And if it was not for families like yours who come together and remind us of the stories of their loved ones, we would not have those stories to tell. So thank you for taking the time to join us here this morning. Congressman Tonko regrets that he could not be here. He had a prior commitment, but he asked that I come and extend his greetings to honor the service of Clinton and to thank him for his sacrifices, not only abroad, but when he came home for his service when he returned back from war. With that, I have a letter and a certificate along with a flag that was flown over the United States Capitol in honor of Clinton. And I have, like I said, a letter here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's a small portion here that I think is very fitting for this morning's ceremony, so I'm just going to read it to you. In name of Private First Class Winnie, I arranged for an American flag to be flown over the Capitol building in Washington. The flag symbolizes in part the vigilance, perseverance, and valor required to establish and sustain our democratic republic, a place where justice and opportunity may be pursued in peace. My sincere hope is that you will forever cherish this tribute, just as we resolve today to cherish the memory of Private First Class Clinton John Winnie. Signed by Congressman Paul D. Tonko. So with that, it is my honor to present this flag to you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I will now ask our Rensselaer County Executive, Steve McLaughlin, to come forward.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here with my colleagues in government at the federal, state, and local level here. And I just want to say I'm impressed that Ken Harrington actually knew how to pull music up on his phone. That was pretty good. Didn't work, but he didn't have as much time. I had time. I have it ready to go if we want to play some Alabama, but I had a few extra minutes. But I thought that thing was rotary dial. It was so old, Kenny. But it's like I said, it's a pleasure to be here. We do this every month, and it's always very special for us to take time. And we're coming up on Memorial Day, and we certainly honor so many veterans on that day that paid the ultimate price. But every day we say here is in Rensselaer County is Veterans Day. We try to do a lot for our veterans and pay a lot of attention to them. But it's nice to take time once a month and honor a specific veteran. And certainly we're honored to do that for Clinton today. And he must have seen some interesting stuff over there as he was building things and then wrecking things and then rebuilding them. He was probably busy nonstop over there in Korea. And then you see the 2 Bronze Stars, a Meritorious Citation, United Nations Medal. Pretty impressive, the Korean Service Medal as well. Pretty impressive service. And then, as I say all the time, like so many, he came home, took off that great uniform and put on different uniforms and went to work raising a family. So, which is also service to the nation as well. So he did a great job, and on both sides, in the military and then here at home, contributing to the nation. And good baseball team to root for. If he's not going to root for the Red Sox, you might as well root for the Mets. So as long as it's not the Yankees, that's right. But but we're honored today to be able to honor Clinton, and thank you for letting us do that. Thank you.
Sorry, oh, a little shorter here. Thanks. Sorry about that. Good morning. Senator regrets she could not be here this morning. She sends her regrets, but I'm here to represent her. She sends her warmest regards to you all. This legislative body is justly proud to recognize United States Army veteran Clinton Winnie posthumously. Clinton Winnie has demonstrated his love for his country and the highest respect of his state and nation, serving in the Korean War, earning various medals and commendations. Senator Jordan and the entire New York State Senate honors Clinton Winnie for his service to our nation and to his community. At this time, I would like to present the family of Clinton Winnie a New York State resolution and the New York State Liberty Medal on behalf of Senator Jordan.
I will now ask New York State Assemblyman Jake Ashby to come forward.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks for fixing the microphone, too. It would have been tough. It's an honor to be here this morning. It's great to see former Congressman McNulty. I remarked to him as I was coming in 13 years ago on Saturday, I had received my commission in the United States Army as a lieutenant, and that wouldn't have been possible without Congressman McNulty. So I certainly expressed my gratitude to him, and it's great to see Tom Walsh here again, prior military, retired Colonel Pete Goebel, who was up at the Assembly last week for West Point Day. As a West Point graduate, it was great to see him up there. To the family of Clinton Winnie, you know, when I was listening to the remarks about engineers, I can recall in my own service working with engineers and listening to Kenny Harrington say freedom of movement. That's absolutely right. You know, the engineers, what they did is they allowed for your freedom of movement by providing route clearance, so making sure that the roads that you were traveling were safe. And during my time in service, that was essential. And we worked with our engineers pretty closely. And they had a lot of fun, too. They certainly enjoyed, I don't know what they enjoyed more, destroying things or building things. They certainly had a lot of fun blowing things up, but it was essential what they did. And, you know, they also knew how to make the most of things, you know, no matter what the situation was, because they could be out on a road for days, you know, away from a lot of the creature comforts that you find at certain installations, whether they're big or small. So these engineers would be out there in their vehicles for days and days at a time, away from a lot of those things. So they really knew how to make the most of things, and I certainly enjoyed working with them. And you can tell through Clinton's story that he learned to continue to make the most of things as he came home and went forward in his life. And that certainly wouldn't have been possible without the help of family and friends and the community that he lived in. On behalf of the New York State Assembly and my colleague John McDonald, who sends his regrets, who couldn't be here this morning, I'd like to present you with this certificate from the Assembly.
Tim Forbes from the Rensselaer County Honor Deceased Veteran Committee will present the committee plaque at this time. Will the committee members please stand?
For allowing us to honor Clinton today, and we really do appreciate everything here. Thank you. Thank you.
Please stand for the closing prayer.
Day is done. Gone the sun from the lake, the hill, and the sky. All is well. God of compassion, dignity, strength, watch over this veteran and his family. Bless him and grant his family comfort and everlasting peace. Amen.
Retire the colors.